Welcome to Mundane Mysteries of a Muslim podcast. Drops every fortnight, the most mundane topic hitting your Muslim neighbours.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Welcome to another episode of the podcast.
Mundane.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
May, it's Mundane Mysteries.
So welcome, guys. We have our returning guests as ever. We have Nishat and Nuha.
Assalamu alaikum.
Sounds like Nougat.
What's Nougat?
As a nougat. Is it nougat? The chocolate inside the chocolate.
Is it?
It's like a squidgy chocolate inside, like a.
I thought you were talking about chicken nugget without.
No, that's nugget.
Nougat is it?
No, but nougat is it nougat or it's like a French word, isn't it?
It's something like that, but
nougat. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Let's stop wasting time.
I do apologize. I'm butchering your name.
30
Apologies.
seconds off.
30 seconds of our 30 minutes, mate. It's gone.
Alhamdulillah. Anyway, guys, so I think today we'll jump straight into it. Justin Bieber. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I think we need to give a little bit of background and a little bit
I'm a
of
huge
context.
fan, by the way.
I was just going to say, I don't even know what
I don't know.
I liked his early music. So, when he was like a teenager and then
prepubescent girl voice. Yep.
No. He's got an amazing voice, mashallah. And, I think, in the later stages of his life, he had an amazing album as well. But then after adulthood, I think, he was with the wrong crowd. He went through the whole, things that he does. And so we'll explore that a bit further.
He was a 13-year-old going on tours. Like they were making him work day and night, and he needed to stay awake for these concerts, and they were giving him drugs at the age of 13 in order for him to perform.
Right. Okay.
And he had no adult.
But is that substantiated though?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It is. Everything is allegedly, because nobody's going to say, yeah, this is what happened. Because at the end of the day, his parents left him at the age of 13 to these industry people. He was this big star. There was nobody to tell him off. So, and he's got all this power, unlimited power, and everyone's like, yeah, you're great, Justin, you're great. You need to do that.
I think he is, he is a very talented young man. I don't think that's disputable.
No.
He's a huge talent, and I think, give him credit where credit's due.
No, but as a child, you need discipline.
No, of course, without a doubt. But I think, he's come far in terms of where he started off from YouTube videos. And then, from what I understand, Usher and Justin Timberlake had a little arm wrestle over him. Yeah. They actually fought, and obviously, who's going to win? Usher. So that's when he became under the care of Usher. I say care very loosely.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
P. Diddy took over.
But did he though? No pun intended. But I think he tried to, but I don't think he actually did he?
I'm sure that there's a point where he did take.
Because I remember a clip I saw a few months back where Diddy was like saying to Bieber was like, "Oh, I don't see you," and all them sort of when he was younger, and then Justin Bieber made like an excuse. So I think he managed to avoid the P Diddy whole scandal thing.
I think there was a little bit of an uncomfortable where Justin. I think there's an old video that's surfaced where they're like, "Oh, you spent." The weekend with P. Diddy, and Justin Bieber didn't want to talk about it. You can tell he was upset about it and things like that.
Yeah.
So something must have happened there, like in terms of, I don't think he escaped the clutches. Right. I don't think allegedly we don't know any of these situations.
Yeah. Well, obviously that's in his early days. But obviously, as soon as he hit 18, we all saw it. It literally happened like live in front of us because of the whole social media, YouTube. Period of our lives that entered at that time in 2000, late 2010, late 2000s, early 2010s. We saw him, starting to deteriorate in terms of his physical and mental health, acting out, saying all sorts and doing
to drugs,
all sorts of things. I think that's Hollywood and the music industry in general. I don't know what you think, Nuha.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't follow his story through. The only thing I know, there was 2 Pakistani girls that sang his song, and I thought it was, on Instagram. Sorry.
Well, you know what? I think that just proves his reach. Like even in the remote villages of Pakistan, or even in the cities of Lahore or wherever they are from, it reached that far. All the way to the Far East.
Recreated it because that's the only song I know of which song was it?
Baby.
Baby one, yeah. And these two Pakistani girls from the village, they've sung it, and their version I really enjoy, but without no music.
So you're a Bieber fan, basically.
I didn't even know who he was.
Pakistani Bieber
I
fan.
didn't know who he was until I saw them clip, and I thought, hey, these Pakistani girls who can't speak English, like with really good accent, and then when you type it in and Justin Bieber comes up. Anyway, so that's why I know.
Okay. So the only reason we're talking about him now is because recently he's trying to leave Hollywood. He's trying to sell all his music, and I think it's worth over 200 million. He's trying to sell it all and just leave it all behind. And amidst all of this, there's like reports and like Daily Mail, things like how his wife is spending his millions. So they literally they just had a baby, and they're still trying to defame him and his wife in some sort. His wife, I think they always attack on his wife to attack him.
I mean, I personally don't like Hailey Bieber. That's my personal thoughts anyway. I didn't like them two getting together. I didn't think she was the right fit for him. But retrospectively, I think she's done a lot to support him, especially him becoming like a more decent human being. I see that now. But at the time, I was more like Team Selena Gomez.
But one thing people don't realize, him and Selena Gomez, every time they were together, both of them were very high on drugs.
Were they?
Yeah.
Was she a druggie?
She was a druggie. She had to go to rehab. He had to go to rehab. And then every time they got together, they relapsed together.
Right. Okay.
So they were not good for each other.
Yeah.
And then when he went to rehab, he got with Hailey. She didn't relapse. Then he married her. He used to go to church with her. And since he's been with Hailey and he's been married, they've had a more of a, reclusive life, like in terms of he's more out of the limelight. Yes, she's in the limelight. So
why does he want to sell everything up?
Because he wants to leave it all behind. He doesn't want to be involved in it. He doesn't want to make any more music. All the things like if he doesn't.
I think all the baggage that comes with it.
Yeah.
I think one thing that we don't discuss enough, and I think this is why I appreciate. Sometimes I think, I listen to Candace Owens, right? She's a Catholic lady from America. She was fired from the Daily Wire, I think it's called, and she's got her own podcast. I think she's done it for the last 6-7 months. But some of her stuff is just, you think, oh my God, it's so like conspiracy theories. But then when you deeply reflect on it, and she's touched upon the issue of Justin Bieber and Hollywood especially, and P. Diddy and Kanye West and all these other Hollywood stars, and she talks about the demonic side of things, how you have to sell your soul to the devil, literally sell yourself to the devil, and do things when you're in compromising positions so they can have one over you. So you're basically under the control. And I think, Nishat, what you're trying to say is, I think maybe Justin Bieber's at that point in his life now where he doesn't want that anymore. He wants to be a family man. So he wants to give to his kids, and he wants to give to his wife, and not be under the control of Hollywood and the demonic side that's under that.
He's not trying to come out of like Hollywood.
No, but it is. It's Hollywood.
Come out with from the dark side.
Yeah, but the music industry is the dark side. The movie industry is the dark side, and we all listen to we all watch it, but we sometimes forget that there's that sinister side to it. Think about it. He, at the age of 12, 13, he was in that industry. What kind of safeguarding measures are in there to protect these young kids? Again, slightly going off topic.
Predators.
There was a recent exposure on Nickelodeon about the things that happened back in the day on them. All sorts of things. What happened
to all the Amanda Bynes? She's gone completely cuckoo. But if you think about any child star,
even Michael Jackson,
they go cuckoo.
Yeah.
So you were saying, I think from my understanding, he sold it already for 230 million. I don't know if that's correct.
I don't know. I don't know if it's been sold or not. But I knew he was trying to sell and just completely get out of it.
Once you're in it, who are you selling it back to? So I'm saying he's selling his music and.
He sold it to a record. He's trying to sell it to the highest bidder, I think, from my understanding, to whichever record label. So what happens is with the music industry is when you release a song, obviously you make your money, but then every time your song plays, you get royalties, so you get income. Okay. So like, for example, Mariah Carey every winter, mashallah, her song, All I Want for Christmas Is You, I think makes about 6 million every year.
Right.
And that's just, I think, in the UK. And forget everywhere else in the world. I could be incorrect. But that's the kind of, with that royalty money, he's no longer going to be in receipt of that. So he's selling
what
his.
you guys saying is because he sold his soul. Is that what you're saying? Like he sold his soul, now he wants it, like I don't understand.
He just wants to get out of this darkness.
Okay.
He just wants to get out of this darkness. He just wants to leave it all behind. Allah knows what he's going to do with his life.
Yeah.
Like he'll probably go live in the mountains.
If he's already sold his soul, like coming out of this kind of stuff,
that's why people get killed. That's why people get killed and they die. You know, when they tragically die.
But I think that's Nishad. I think you had a valid point there where you said his wife was supporting him. I think that's why the media is attacking his wife, because she's the stable one, and obviously the practicing Christians, from what I understand, the Baldwin family. So I think that's why the media is attacking, because they can't attack him, because they're trying to keep him within the industry. But by attacking his wife, they're saying, oh, she's the one that's taking him away from his family and his friends and
his fans
and the industry. So they're putting it on her. So they, there's that conflict between husband and wife. And we know Islamically as well, one of the greatest things that the shaitan can do is cause conflict between the husband and wife.
That's
the shaitan actually gets up and hugs the little shaitan and says, you've done a good job because you've caused a headache between the husband and the wife. They're not on the same bed, or they're not in the same house, they've separated, whatever. That's what they enjoy. And I think sometimes as Muslims we forget that more the supernatural side of things as well. That is a reality as well.
And them two are a very interesting couple. Every time they go out, she looks like she's going to a cocktail party, and he looks like he's just in his joggers going to the gym.
Well, can I just say on that, right? So, do you know that Indian family that got married, the really rich Indian family?
Yeah, the Ambanis.
Yeah, the one that I would happily attend if they offered me $25 million, by the way.
Yeah.
So he ended up going to India, right? And guess what he was wearing?
He's just wearing his joggers.
No, he wasn't even wearing joggers. He was wearing a ginji. He was wearing a vest.
That's when you know somebody's rich, when they have to flaunt it.
No, but imagine, right? Imagine you're dressed up in your bridal finest. The lady, go check it online, right? She's dressed up in the finest. The husband is dressed up in his finest, and he's there with a sock hat, right, with joggers on, like a chav, scally, whatever you want to call it, and then he's got a genji on, literally.
A genji is just a vest, a wife beater. What other people would call it?
Is it?
No. You know what wife beater? They call it in America. They call them wife beaters. You know, genji. The white genjis.
Right, okay.
They call them wife beaters in America.
We don't condone such actions. Just put that out there. But moving on from that, inshallah, what we'll talk about now is there a conflict between making riches in this world, or should we just be people of, zikr, people of the Quran, and just focus on the hereafter? Can we be one of does it have to be one or the other, or can we have both? That's the discussion I'd like to have now.
Okay, my view, and I think my and Nuha's view will probably be very different to it. I'm one of those. I believe in, why can't you have both? I want the pleasures of the dunya as well as akhirah. I want it all. I'm selfish like that. What's your view on it, Nuha?
Yeah, but this is what happens. Look at Justin Bieber. Look at him. By the way, I'm not. I would love to have the riches of this world and have the akhirah both together. Like, there's no harm in it. But look at Justin Bieber.
Yeah, but I feel as though in terms of that level of wealth is a whole new thing. Like, none of us will ever get wealthy like that. I don't think, and I don't want to. I don't want that level of wealth. But there are pleasures in this dunya, and I'm like, if you've got the means to have a happy life, why don't you have a happy life? Because I see it in people a lot in terms of they will deprive themselves of a little bit of happiness because they think, you know what, maybe I don't deserve this. But I've seen people do that. But it's like, but why? If Allah has blessed you with something, why not enjoy it? That's my thing.
And
why not?
By
want
the way,
more?
who said I don't want the pleasures of this world? I ask for the pleasures of this world. This is what we fight about actually at home. Like, I'm always like, I want the riches of this world. I don't think there's no harm in it. Of Of course not. We want to be. I think this is the mentality of our practicing Muslims or whatever. They think they have to be so humble about things, and they think that
if you enjoy things, it's like haram. You're falling into sin somehow. If you enjoy,
if I ask Allah, I'm asking for too much, innit?
Like, I'm asking for too. But that in itself is not good, because Allah, Allah is so giving. Allah is so merciful that you can ask Him anything.
And He wants.
And He wants that of you. Like, why can't you see Allah like that, rather than saying like, no, I'm being too greedy.
Yeah.
No, but who are you being greedy to? Someone who can give you, like, who has the unlimited power.
So what's your version of, pleasures of this world? What, like?
So with me, like, my pleasures are different from other people's. Like, I love food. Me having something so delicious, I will take pleasure in that. Like, I will love it.
Yeah, but you could be a poor man and enjoy the
No. But I get what that means. Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, there are certain things it'll take 2 days to make. It'll take one full day. Like in my family, there's a lot of food that we make a lot of things from scratch. So me and my mum will spend a whole day and a half making something. It'll go in 20 minutes. But and these are the pleasures.
It's the labor of love, isn't it?
But for that simple pleasure, we will go do that hard work. For me,
I'm trying to say it's pleasure. Is it money?
There's a lot of things.
Yeah, but you can't do that without money, can you?
You can't do that. You need the time.
I think just picking up on Nishat's point as well, I think, especially when specifically about food, when you put in that hard work and the effort, and you genuinely do with love, you can genuinely taste the food and how amazing it is. Think about something that you bought, right? And you just have it and you're like, oh my God, what a waste of money. Whereas when you like you said, it takes you 2 days maybe to make like paratha samosas or whatever. Yeah. But the difference in the taste compared to something that's bought from the deep freezer aisle, you can tell the difference. You can tell it's come back to intention. Eating, with multiple people, we know there's barakah in it. We discussed it before, amongst ourselves, and you can taste the difference. Not that I'm promoting any supermarket, taste the difference, but you can honestly, and you can tell there's genuine love in there. And this is why people, when they talk about soul food and put love in the food and all them sorts, you can taste it. And I don't think it just goes as far as food. I think with anything, say for example, I make a handmade gift for you, wouldn't you be like, oh, Ruchi, amazing? Yeah.
But with anything, I feel as though, like, but people always see like money as a bad thing, but like money changes people. I don't think money changes people. I think money enables people. Money, power, confidence enables people to be who they want to be. Like, I think
I think money enables people. No, but I think at the same time, I don't know if it's Islamic, but I think there's a saying that goes, I think it is in Islam. I don't know where. I'll check it and verify it afterwards. But it says, whatever situation you're in now, say for example, you're not the most richest person, right? So whatever your habits are now is basically how your habits can be when you're richer. So if you're not a giving person right now, you will not be a giving person when you're richer. So we have this mentality, when I'm a millionaire, I'll give to charity, I'll give to this, I'll do that.
But if you're not
doing it now, you ain't going to do it later. So if you want to do something later on, you start that now. And again, just, like I listen to a lot of motivational podcast stuff as well. And a lot of the times they say, whatever you want to manifest, whatever you want to become, you live that now. Don't think of yourself as you're going to do one day. To manifest that, to make that a reality, have your little mood board or whatever, diary and Googling journal and gratitude journal, all them sort of things, because that helps you. Because, once you've written it down, it becomes more of a reality. But by having your mood board there and by living the life that you want, people already associate you with that. So if, for example, you want to be a wife, right? You act as though you're already a wife. Then when proposal comes to you, people will say you actually, you know what, she's a potential to be, she's a good wife. If you want to be a mother, you act like you're a mother. You will become a mother. You want to be a CEO of a company? Of course, it'll take a long time, but you act like you're a CEO of a company, opportunities will come to you. And I truly believe that. I don't know if that's Islamic or not, but again, it goes back to the, I think intentional and, making actions happen. And we know that's Islamic.
Yeah.
So I agree with Nishat that there's nothing wrong with having the pleasures of this life, because We know some of the Sahabas, but some of the Sahabas, right? We know, I think it's Abdur-Rahman ibn Awf, who's the richest man at the time, the Sahaba, and we know on the Day of Judgment, he is going to be questioned like no one has been questioned, like since the beginning of time to the end of time. He will be questioned. Why? Because of his wealth, how he spent it, how he earned it. So it's not just about earning your wealth, it's how you spend your wealth as well. So there's only a handful of questions, right? And about your wealth is going to be 2 questions: how you earned it and how you spent it. Subhanallah. So we have to be very careful in terms of how we earn and how we deal and how we, sort our finances out, basically.
So
I'm not trying to say that to scare people, but it's there's nothing wrong with it. We can be successful people.
Well, we forget. I don't know if about you guys, but I think the first dua that we learn in what do you call it when you're in the local masjid when you're Bengali kids, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And literally that is separated into asking for the best of this world, the best of Akhirah, and then like save us from the hellfire. It's proportionally like should be thingy. But in terms of like us asking for it, I don't actually find myself asking because I don't.
We should.
Not
I ask for it all the time. I ask for it all
and
the time.
I ask for it for her as well because then I'll get the benefit as well.
And I think I love she wants it. I give her.
Yeah, but don't forget when you make dua for others, the angels say and for you as well, inshallah. So it's a double whammy. You know what I mean?
But I think it is maybe it's a weakness in myself because I'm thinking if I ask for riches of this world, as I want money, or I know I'm going to have to work towards it. It's not going to come to me like that. So I think it's out of lazyism for me, not asking, and maybe it's a bit of weakness from the fact that is it possible? Can I become a millionaire?
Of course you can.
Allah can make anything happen, isn't
it? So that's what I'm saying. I think it's a bit of lazyism from my side. Or people think, but do people actually ask for it in their dua? Like
100% they should. Whether or not they do.
Actually ask.
I don't think a lot of people.
I don't think people do.
I do. I personally do. When I remember, I don't think I do it every day.
But what do you ask? What do you ask for?
Mainly, it's just obviously, like my go-to dua is La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimin. So the reason I made that dua is because when I was a young kid in my house, that dua was it was on the door of my house. No idea what it meant. I just memorized it because you're literally seeing it every day, right?
That's so amazing.
I don't even know what it meant, right? Only until a few years ago, probably like 6-7 years ago. That's only when I found out what it actually meant. So I never even investigated what this random dua that I make. But subhanallah, like that literally means is the dua of I think Yunus alayhi salam when he was in the
belly of the whale.
Belly of the whale. I was gonna say tail of the belly. Belly of the whale. And I think it means, oh Allah, indeed I am amongst the wrongdoers. Something along the lines of that. Again, I'll put the exact translation in the description. And subhanallah, like because I've always said that dua after my namaz or whenever I make dua, I've always been protected. Like everything that I wanted to achieve in life. No, but what I'm saying is, even though I don't even know what it means, this is the power of the dua, right? It's obviously it's a Quranic ayah. But every time I've made that dua and every time I've gone out to do something, no matter how ridiculous it is, I've always achieved it and Allah's always protecting me, subhanAllah. Like the amount of things that I've done in my life, like I've gone to United Nations conferences, I've gone here, I've gone there, gone everywhere, all on my own, by the way, no experience of flying out on my own. And I've just made it there somehow, come back somehow, worked here somehow, done this somehow. I don't even, like, if you just hear some of the stuff that I've done, I'd be like, I don't even know how I've done it. But it's only because of the dua that it's because Allah's provided me with that.
Did you have a vision of that? And that's what you were 100%. Of?
No.
I again, you have to verbalize it. You put it, yallah.
No. But look, this is what I'm saying though. It's like that dua, right? I didn't even know the meaning of it until 5-6 years ago. So, all through my teens, all through my 20s, up to probably about 27, right? So until probably the last 10 years, I didn't know what it meant. So say imagine 15 years of my life, I didn't have a clue what this dua meant, right? Allah's given me everything that I wanted. And I'll give you another example. In my university days, I remember I had this A5 book and I wrote down what I wanted to achieve in life. Arabic, tajweed, pass my driving, do this, do that. Islamically, fix my namaz, do my qada namaz, which I'm still owing, and do my roza that I'm still owing, and whatever else, these little things, and, diet and lose weight and whatever else, and, read Quran in the middle of the night and all that sort of stuff. And at the time, I remember a year later, alhamdulillah, passed my driving.
Yeah.
I was on tajweed.
Yeah.
Did Arabic, failed it, but still did it,
Yeah,
right?
alhamdulillah, you did it.
But what I'm saying is, even though I wrote it down and I hadn't thought about it much afterwards, I still achieved those goals. You understand?
Yeah.
So even if you don't consciously make a dua for it at the every single day, even the fact that you're
what I'm trying to say
no, but listen,
is it in your bucket list? And that's what
no, it is. That's what I'm saying to you, Nougat.
It has to be in your bucket list.
It does have to be in your bucket list, even if it's in your heart, even if
that's
you just,
what I meant. It
even
has to
if
be somewhere in your head, brain, whatever. That Allah.
But look, that's what I'm saying to you. In my university days, I literally got like a random A5 book. Don't even know where that is anymore. Wrote it down, and I achieved those goals.
Yeah.
Within like a couple of years.
This is what I'm saying. It's in your dua, isn't it? That's what.
Yeah, but I wrote it down. I didn't even verbalize it. That's what I'm saying to you. I wrote it down, and I probably just thought about it once, maybe in one dua or whatever. And every now and again, I might make dua for something.
Yeah.
But who's gonna make dua for tajweed? Like, oh Allah, I might think, well, what, I need to do tajweed.
Yeah.
Well, but I wasn't like, oh Allah, let me be good at tajweed and let me memorize Quran and all that sort of stuff. Because you get to that stage in life where you're like a bit late, innit?
But this is spiritual richness of this world. I'm talking about when you're asking Allah for things non-related to Islam, like Islamic thingy.
Yeah,
I'm talking riches. I'm talking
100%. Like I told you, I went. Listen,
that's what
Nougat, this is what I'm saying to you. I went
mean?
to United Nations conference in
That's
Germany.
the pleasure of the world.
Yeah, I went to a climate change conference with 36 other Muslims that I was in charge of.
Yeah.
Right. And we were the only Muslim organization.
Yeah.
And we got stopped by the French police because we were a large group and the French attack happened. But alhamdulillah, Allah protected us.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so many non-Muslims came up to us like, we want to congratulate you because, you're the only Muslims that we've seen.
Yeah.
After that, in October, I remember it took me 2 weeks, right? Organized Jummah Namaz outside in Parliament Square. 450 people turned up to it.
Yeah.
And I remember one of my supervisors. No, it's not spiritual. This was through my job.
Yeah, but
that's not spiritual.
This is not non.
What do you mean? No, I disagree with you. This is my job. I'm talking about. This is my job, right? This was my job. Teaching people about climate change. It had nothing to do with spiritualness and this and that.
Well, even though
my idea was that basically, but we know that all Muslims are not practicing. I had people come from Luton. I had people come from Birmingham, Coventry. Non-practicing people because they heard about this namaz outside in Parliament Square. They wanted part of history. Now, whatever their intention was, they made the effort to come from halfway across the country to come to that namaz, right? Even though I advertised it only for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm getting confused only because.
But what I'm saying though,
somebody says pleasure to me, it means pleasures of this world is what people don't associate with like a religious.
But even if
but that to me, that's a success. Pleasure doesn't mean just pleasures like, oh, I enjoy this, I enjoy that. I enjoyed my work when I was down there. You understand? I enjoyed going to United Nations conferences in Germany and Paris. I enjoyed doing my work at the time. I still enjoy my current job.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that that's a worldly job and that's not. I think
no, I don't mean that.
I don't think we can differentiate between them.
Work is work, innit?
But work can be ibadah. Work can be ibadah with your intention to it. But I get pleasure from that.
Yes, it is.
But look,
it is for loads of people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to go. You know, I'm not attacking you, right? But I'm saying though is I gain pleasure. Look, I could have done any sort of campaign, right? I could have done any sort of project, but I chose to do that because I thought, you know what, it's nice thing. Let me try it.
Yeah,
that's all my intention. You know what, let me try it. I remember I did this rubbish poster, right? We just literally of a Big Ben, and we photoshopped these Muslim guys onto the grass praying. We're probably in the wrong direction anyway. It was just a little poster. Next thing I know, right? So I'm the project leader. Imagine I'm the project leader. Yeah, I'm not even getting any feedback that people are receiving this email or receiving this thingy. And then all of a sudden, my volunteers were like, yeah, it's going viral. Even my mom and dad know about it. I'm like, well, it's not come back to me.
So it's success.
But that pleasure and success, I deem, to be something that you get joy out of. Yeah. Whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's, traveling, whether it's eating, whatever it is, or a new car or a new house.
Yeah.
Those are pleasures. Those are success.
Success.
So for me, I gained pleasure from that project because it was, alhamdulillah, like I said, my supervisor at the time, she didn't think that I would make a success out of this. She actually thought only about 50, 60 people would turn up. And I remember she came and she's like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. I was like, why are you surprised? I told you there's at least 300 people going to turn up, minimum. And there was 450 plus. So that for me was a real pleasure, real success. Yeah. Because I proved to my manager that within 2 weeks, I can achieve something if I put my mind to it.
And my success during that time was visiting her in London, and we used to go out to eat, and I used to expense it to the company.
Which takes us nicely on to the next part of the conversation. We're well over time.
I want to make a little bit of a point before we leave this.
We will discuss it. I think we'll extend today slightly because I think it's important to discuss this potential 4-day weekend. I just
wanted to say, like,
not 4-day weekend, so 4-day working.
As Muslims, the thing is, what they confuse about religion is that if you're someone practicing and humble and then, so it's not, the success at work is not something pleasurable. It's because it's not.
Why can't it not be? Why can it not be?
This is what I'm trying to say. I don't think a lot of people.
Right. Say for example, right? Sorry. Yeah, Nishat.
No. I just have a point to make. I think in terms of with all of these things, I think it's the perception of what pleasure is, because sometimes people think when you do religious things, that's not worldly pleasure. That's just working for the Akhirah. But you should get pleasure in the dunya for doing that. And same with when you have success at work, religious people will think, oh, that's not spiritual. But if you are a spiritual person, you need to have God consciousness in everything. So even when I'm driving my nice fancy car, I am thanking Allah because I made dua for this.
And we made dua for it as well.
And my friends made dua for it. And my friends enjoy the benefits of that.
Alhamdulillah.
So alhamdulillah. So like for me, making my friends enjoy, my family enjoy those things, it's me, it's my gratitude to Allah.
100%.
And there's God consciousness within it.
Yeah.
So even in the world, pleasures, you need to have God consciousness.
I'm trying to say,
that was my point. I'm trying to say
though, how many, I think it's because we've been around together and that's why we kind of share the same. But how many Muslims share this, idea of like, thingy being, what I'm trying to say,
the God consciousness, even in the worldly pleasure.
Yeah.
But no, people. That's why I said
the
perception needs to be changed. Is the fact that you think you can only get, like you don't mix pleasures of the dunya and akhirah. You give two separate things. If you do something spiritually, it's only for the akhirah. If you do something in the dunya, it's only for the dunya. But no, you can do something within the dunya, enjoy it, and that helps you towards your akhirah.
See, the thing is, Nisha, I don't differentiate. I think everything's Islamic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
but
there's.
Alhamdulillah, that's because alhamdulillah we grew up with.
No, I didn't grow up. No, I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up.
I haven't had those.
But we've had friends.
That's the thing.
We've had friends with the same, like who encourage that kind of thing.
No, of course, without a doubt. But what I'm saying though is
the fact that we can recognize, everything can be pleasure. Everything. Why climb mountain for us could be a worship.
So 100%. Look,
for us, I think we recognize that from a young age because we've been with.
I mean,
not everybody does.
Yes, I know.
Remember when
yes,
we climbed the mountain. My mom said to me, "Can I say in Bangla?" She goes, and then we were getting an award for it. And then my mom says, "Monakhurina, amar go ropo." Say like, "How do I'm really proud of you?" Like, but she was proud. She was proud of us, man, because we got. I think But
which mountain was it?
When we did, it was in Saudi. We climbed like 2 mountains together, and
mashallah.
And so we were getting. But I remember my mom, like clearly her saying as we were walking up to the stage, she goes, "I'm feeling like," they said, "Go to whatever the word is."
Proud.
Yeah, I don't think I'm feeling like proud of you, and I can tell. Mom, we came back and gave you perfume and nice and loving it. But this is what I'm trying to say, like. Do the older generation think that's a achievement, or because they
100%? I think they do. I think they do. I've got friends, right?
Why did my mom make that comment?
No, but she's trying to keep you
humble. She's trying to keep you humble. She's trying to keep you humble.
Look, this is how parents are, right? They'll slam you to your face, but then behind closed doors, they'll say to the friend, "My daughter this, my son that." Yeah. 100%. All parents do that, right? So
not mine.
But what I'm saying is to make sure that we keep grounded, we do not get ahead of ourselves, and we don't get a big head. And I think that's.
I genuinely think my mom did not think 2 girls climbing a mountain with me and my sister, and we're getting an award for it.
Look, participation award.
Our parents getting married is
no, mashallah. But look, on a serious note, though, I think alhamdulillah, I think everything that we do in life, we should try as much as we can to remember, try and be God conscious and everything. And this is why I was, highlighting the whole point about the work element of it, is because you can make it Islamic.
Yeah.
We don't get rewarded for going to work. We don't get rewarded for eating. We don't get rewarded for living in a house and looking after the house.
At the end of the day, even in prayer, if you're not with the right intention, it's not rewarded. So
Subhanallah. Yeah, well, that's different slightly because obviously we should be conscious and things. But in terms of worldly, quote unquote, worldly things, if we do become God conscious, oh Allah, you know what, I'm going to eat this pie because it's going to give me nutrients. Maybe it's a healthy pie, not an apple pie. Chicken pot pie with a side of vegetables, right? Or whatever. And, you know, Allah is going to give me nutrients so that I can then, you know, fulfill my obligations to my mom, to my dad, to my husband, to my wife, to my kids, to my family, or, you know, I can do X, Y, Z. Then, yeah, it can become a source of, you know, reward. Of course, why not? And this is what I'm saying. And I think Nishat will agree with me here is anything you do in life, you know, whether it's driving a car, whether it's going on a holiday, if you make the to, you know, spend time with family, to, you know, help the community. Like, look, you know, we organize a whole bunch of activities for young people over the summer holidays. I could just make, you know, I could just do it, not get rewarded. But if I make the intention, Allah, you know what, is to keep these kids off the street, is to give these opportunity, you know, to, you know, do good activities and to try and be a role model to them. Of course, I'm, you know, 100%. I know that my Lord will reward me for it, inshallah.
Like with me, even with working, I don't work because, my God, I love working. I
thought you did.
I hate it. You know I hate
I know
it.
Nougat does.
Baratas. But I hate it. But do I want to be successful in work? Yeah, because I work for my mum. I work for my family. That you know, I do it because of the people around me. I don't do it for myself. Like, obviously, I do it for myself in terms of there are things that I can achieve through working. You know, holidays and things that, you know, all of those things. But mainly, the main source of the reason why I do it for my mother. I do it to provide for my family.
Yeah.
And with that intention, that is being God conscious. And that will give me akhirah. It's giving me the 100%.
I do.
It's giving me the dunya, the worldly pleasures. My work, because of my work, it gives me so many worldly pleasures. But because of my intention towards it, it's also giving me the akhirah because I want to provide for my mum.
Yeah, I think without going too personal or asking anybody, I think what we should do as Muslims, these are my thoughts anyway, is make, especially in this time in our lives, when in our mid-late 30s, early 40s,
Bye.
you know, hitting our golden years and all them sort of things, we should definitely make dua that Allah provides us with a halal risk. It's so easy to fall into, you know, we had this discussion earlier on about interest and interest-based, you know, things. It's very easy trap to fall into. And of course, you know, some of the scholars, they've given us the opportunity to purchase like a first time property. But then obviously, you know, once you go down that route, it's a very slippery slope. And then you might think, oh, you know what, let's get into the property market and let's start financing out cars and let's start leasing cars and credit cards and, you know, 1% interest, you know, Amex cards, whatever it is. It's a very slippery slope. And I think it's very hard to hold on to like halal means and halal risk and things like that. So I think definitely, especially in our age, when we need to start thinking and reflecting and thinking about especially our legacy as well, you know, in terms of wills and what we're going to leave behind, is do we want to leave behind, you know, debt and, you know, burden on our family members, or do we want to clear those burdens and, you know, be at least minimum debt free and all them sort of things, so that that burden does not fall on our family members. So I think definitely we should ask Allah, and obviously we know Allah's got 99 beautiful names, subhanallah. We should learn them. You know, I'm on this challenge with my family to learn the 99 names of Allah by the end of September, I think. Oh, sorry, end of December.
Can I join in this challenge? And, you know, because I really need to learn it. My mum's done it, and I feel as though she's just like, I can't be in competition.
But I think though, again, I remember I went to this course once and we learned a few of the names of Allah, and I remember this one lady, she was saying that I think one of her kids was dying for the toilet, so she made the dua with Allah's name, like Akhirah and something else. I can't remember the name. So she was basically, and I read this sometimes when I get stuck in traffic. Oh Allah, delay the time and quicken the journey. So she named, she said Allah's name, the one that's the delayer and the one that quickens the time. I can't remember the names. I should learn it really. But sometimes when I get stuck in traffic, I remember those. So I made the dua, like, oh Allah, you are the delay of the time. So delay the time, but quicken the journey. Delay the time, quicken the journey. And subhanallah, you know what? Every time it works.
It works.
Subhanallah.
It truly works.
So I think, you know, sorry, I've talked quite a bit. I'm not giving you guys the chance to talk, but I think we should definitely learn the names of Allah and stuff. And I think just quickly jumping on to the 4-day a week working, yay or nay?
Yay.
I do. Sorry, I do the 60 hours a day anyway. So, but then I do my whole week's thinking in one day anyway. So I get 3-4 days off.
Yeah.
But that disadvantage I feel is going to be if you guys do it, because we do 13-hour shifts and I get all my hours done within 3 days if I work 3 full days.
But I don't think it's going to affect all the sectors. I think
no, it's just going to be the 9-to-5ers. It's going to affect the 9-to-5
more
jobs.
like the corporate jobs,
not your job.
Not like
no. What I'm saying is because I already live this life. The benefit, okay, you get 4 days off, but 3 days off. But the disadvantage is you need a whole day to sleep. Because
no.
You
So
still work 9 to 5.
By the way, this is not shift job.
Oh, why is
they don't
This is just fixed hours, Monday to Thursday.
So you still do your 9 to 5.
Oh, right, okay.
But you instead of doing like Monday to Friday, you do Monday to Thursday 9 to 5.
That's gonna be awesome then. It doesn't include me, but
yeah,
so that's the government, I think, proposal. I think they're in the process of
so you still get paid the same.
So
they need to stop they shouldn't do the pro rata thing where they increase your
really?
pay. If they do the pro rata thing and they increase your pay, I mean decrease your pay based on the number of days you worked.
Oh, okay.
That's not going to be great.
Then.
But if they keep the same pay, you get paid 5 days, work 4 days. But I think productivity increases when you have less time, because most of the time when you're an office worker, most of the time you're procrastinating, you're doing this, you're doing that.
You go for like 4 coffees or teas and breaks and break and toilet break.
The best example is when you're on a half day and you've got the second half of the day off, you tend to finish all your work that you would have done in 8 hours within 4. So if you've got 4 days instead of 5, you will be more productive within those 4 days than you would have been in those 5. Personal example of me is the fact that sometime within certain projects I'm given 2 weeks. Do I do it within those 2 weeks? No, I do it within the last 2 days. I do it and I get it done. So if they give me a reduced time, I'll get things done and then I'll move on to the next.
I guess
I'm not going to procrastinate.
I'm planning on cleaning the house, but I think it's going to take 2 weeks, and then you guys say 2 hours before you come in.
I think that's a given for anybody.
But I think finish it within 2 hours.
I think Nishat, just on that point, I remember again watching clips. I should really start watching full videos rather than just watching clips. So there's one clip where they said that they did a study about people working from the office and doing their jobs. They actually found that the normal 9 to 5 job, people normally are productive for 3 hours of the day.
Yeah.
But do you know why do you know why they keep the 9 to 5? It's because it's convenient for the corporate world. Why? Because those people who are rich become rich. And they gave the example. So say for example you work 9 to 5 days a week. So you wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, have breakfast, go work at 9 o'clock, come home 5 o'clock, you're shattered. Can you do anything constructive with your life? Can you be motivated to set up your own side business or self business or like a restaurant or corner shop? No, you can't. You don't physically have the energy to do anything.
You're mentally exhausted.
Exhausted, physically exhausted. Then comes the weekend where you can just recuperate and catch up on all your chores. And then it's just a perpetual cycle where you're not motivated. You're just literally on survival mode. And that's literally what they want to keep you as, because that keeps the economy going and that makes them richer. But think about it, from those 8 hours, they know for a fact that only 3 of them hours are when you're constructive in terms of work.
They know for a fact Nisha just sits twiddles her fingers. Dude, they know.
Well, I think your work, obviously, again, you work for the NHS is slightly different. But for those guys who work in the more like corporate world, and the public sector world, it is that. And I find that those days that I work from home, so say for example, I got to clock my hours, I find that I'm more productive working from home than I am at work, because like you said, I'm not going for 5-6 coffees a day. I'm
not chatting to your co-worker for like 2 hours.
You're really focused, and you think, I've got 2 hours. Let me. 100%.
From home, I'm staring at the ceiling.
If you're office-based work, if you do office-based work like writing and report writing and monitoring reports, and
if you had a deadline, you just
projects,
I'm just thinking when I was at uni life, for me it was better to get out into the library and put myself. But I sat at home.
No, but I'm talking about now, not present day. In terms of actual like corporate jobs and public sector jobs.
Because if you're going into the office, when I go into the office, all I want to do is talk. And literally, when I don't go into the office. I work from home, so alhamdulillah, you know, I have that luxury. But when I do go into the London office and thing, we go for 2-hour lunches.
Yeah.
Then I'll catch up with all the people I haven't caught up with.
Yeah.
I don't even do a single thing.
No, but I mean, even then, you're saying that, but I think that's part and parcel of what you're doing anyways, because you're keeping connected with your colleagues.
Yeah.
You're catching up, and if you don't keep that human connection with your colleagues, then if you get stuck on a project, for example, they're not going to be willing to help you out because they're like, oh, you know what, she works from home, she doesn't make the time and the effort to talk to us, to get to know us, and it's that human connection. No, but that's what I'm saying. So by going down and visiting and all them sort of stuff and having them extended lunch, yes, it might seem like, oh, I'm wasting time, but I think there's a deeper connection there as well. And then again, it's going back to our beginning topic where it's about human connections, you know, being vulnerable, all them sort of things, and, you know, inconveniencing people.
That was not actually we were talking.
Well, that was before the podcast.
Oh, that was a pre-podcast. That's a little teaser for the next session.
You know, that's for the next session. I think we need to wrap it up because I think we've spent way too much time.
No, I think people are enjoying our conversations.
Of course they are.
But if you guys are getting tired, that's absolutely fine. Thank you, Nuha and Nishat, for your contributions. As ever, alhamdulillah. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves today.
As always.
And inshallah, you know, make dua for Justin Bieber that Allah, you know, guides him to Islam. And Hailey Bieber, I suppose, as well.
I know you hate her, but I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Maybe I'm brainwashed by the media. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of her. She's annoying.
But
I just think him and her, she's good for him. That's all I think. She's good for him.
You think?
Yeah, she's good for him.
Yeah.
She's good for him.
Yeah. But again, let's not have a re-conversation on that anyway. But yeah, may Allah guide all of us and them as well, inshallah.
Ameen.
And, you know, may Allah keep us on the straight path. Ameen. May Allah give us the best of this life and the hereafter, inshallah.
Ameen.
And enter us into Jannat al-Firdaus without hisab.
Ameen.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for listening to Mundane Mysteries of a Muslim. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.